Are we going? Yeah, we're going. Good afternoon, YouTubes. Hope you had a lovely, lovely new year. There's a train over there. I'm out on the trusty rusty thing of beauty that it is. 1980 CB250RS. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I've just scooted out from home because again it is mild today. It is windy again. This seems to be a thing about this time of year with the wind. And a cabbage field and some swans and some, I guess they're cygnets. But yeah, middle of nowhere. But I'm out for a bit of a spin. Oh, there's more swans over there. There's fucking loads of them. How bizarre. But yeah, I thought I'd come for a quick spin. And I did promise in my post-Christmas pre-New Year video that I would talk about work, or an old job that I worked on. And as any of you know, if you watch one of my other videos, I used to be a surveillance operator, and I rode bikes a lot, and we were also armed. So the story I'm going to tell you today is about that, and this is one that's been through all the legal processes, etc. So it is one that I can talk about. However, I'm not going to talk about any people, any names, any towns, any places, anything like that. It's going to be a generic talk. It is true, but some details may be changed, only because they would talk about specifics, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, this is a job we were working on as a team many years ago on a particularly bad. So I'm going to put my gloves on. It's getting a bit chilly. Didn't think it was going to be that cold, but I guess it's the wind. So you can do that when you're middle of nowhere. No idea what I'm riding. I would normally, but it's quite windy, and this little thing does get blown about a little bit. But yeah. Many years ago, working on a guy, a particularly nasty guy, and the intelligence was he was either armed or had access to firearms. So obviously as a team we were armed, I was armed, and we were wandering around behind this fella, and at one point he gets dropped off in a car and disappears into a housing estate, and obviously we got a few of us, myself included, out on foot trying to find him, and one of the guys finds him, but obviously it's at night. Well, I say obviously, I didn't say that part. This is at night, and at distance he's disappeared into one of what could have been sort of 5 or 6 houses, because at distance you see someone walk down a footpath, you can't tell which house they got into. So we start plotting up in the area, and I volunteered to get a visual on the row of houses, and the only place I could do this from is the other side of the street. It was quite a wide street. It's the other side of the street. Talking to streets, where am I? Well, this looks like quite a main road, because it's green on my map. B2080. Yeah, well, let's go left or right, left or right, let's go left. Yeah, the only place I could get a visual from was the other side of the street. Now obviously this was quite a bandit estate. If ever you've been to some parts of the country, I'm sure all of you will know estates which aren't particularly nice places. So I found a front garden that had a big hedge and some weedy bins, and I basically buried myself between the weedy bins and the hedge so I could see the row of houses. Luckily there were no PIR lights. I wonder if that's the swans I saw from the other side. I think it is, yeah, that's a bit of a block. Luckily there are no PIR lights to illuminate me, but obviously if you get found in someone's front garden late at night on a shit estate, it's not going to end very well. So there is a bit of pressure involved in that. But yeah, so I'm in the front garden trying to keep as quiet as I can. There are people in the house, you can hear the TV on, all that sort of stuff. And after probably about an hour, I would say, matey wanders out of a front door and starts doing some stuff to a car that's in the street. So from where I am, I take the opportunity of, when I've got a bit of space and time, I get out this front garden and decide to walk through and see what's going on, because I know there's other members of the team supporting me in the area. So I walk through and try and see what he's doing, just in case he's putting something in the boot of the car that we need to know about. But obviously can't see a lot, so I keep walking. Now I know there's an alleyway a little bit further down the road, so I think for me to clear the area, because he's had a good look at me as I've walked past, because they do that. For me to clear the area, there's an alleyway. So I dart down this alleyway and start wandering away. At which point the team say that he's starting to walk, and he's following the same direction that I've walked in. And lo and behold, he turns down the alleyway behind me. So I know he's behind me somewhere down this long dark alleyway. Now I'm dressed in my old man's kit, which was a big old jacket, flat cap, glasses and a walking stick, so I could hobble along at 5 miles an hour if I wanted to. Pull the collar up, no one can really tell how old you are, and I am old anyway. So you can walk along at 5 miles an hour if you want. 5 miles an hour? That's a fast walk, isn't it? 1 mile an hour, should we say. But obviously I'm armed, and the front of my jacket is actually velcroed, so there's no zip on it. There is a zip, but I've not got the zip done up, it's just pushed together with the velcro patches. So if I need to, I can rip my jacket open. You always carry something heavy in a pocket, so that as you pull the jacket and swing it, that jacket's well out of your way, so that nothing gets tangled up when you go to draw your firearm. So anyway, I'm wandering down this alleyway, and next thing I know, I can hear someone running up behind me, and I know it's him because he's the only person that's entered the alleyway, and he's running at me. So you've got not a lot of time to react, you've got seconds to react, and I'm thinking, right, what should we do? So I'm just looking on the map as well while I'm waffling, trying to work out where I am. I think I'm right out on the marsh now. So as he gets probably to within 10 feet of me, I try and act naturally, which in that situation is me spinning around and jumping, or in my best Oscar winning performance, jumping, as if you've been surprised by someone running up behind you. And the reason I did that was because obviously that means I can face him, I can see, you know, pretty much straight away you can tell what someone's intentions are by looking at them. So I spun around and jumped, and he's sort of not jumped, but he's stopped as well, and he's only stood a few feet away from me now. So I've gone, where am I going? Tenderden Wood Church. So I've gone, fucking hell mate, you know, I've made me jump, as you would. And he takes a step towards me, puts his hand on my shoulder, he's looking me in the eyes, and he's going, mate, I'm really sorry, and he's genuinely apologising to me. I'm really sorry I made you jump, mate. Oh, I didn't mean to. And all this sort of stuff. Now, whilst part of me is thinking, thank fuck for that, he was happy with me, the other half of me is thinking, I'm wearing body armour, and that body armour is in the form of a vest, and those plates come quite high up the back and the front towards the shoulders. Now he stood there with his hand on his shoulder giving me the old I'm really sorry mate, and all I can think is, fuck, can he feel my body armour? Because if he does, it's not going to take him too long to twig that something's not quite right here. What's an old man with a walking stick doing, walking through his shitty estate wearing body armour? But luckily he didn't, and he apologised. The reason he apologised because he was basically the sort of, you know, the big man, top boy, whatever you want to call it, on the estate. So in his eyes, I guess he was the, you know, the Cray brother who was looking after the locals, and any problems you could go to him and he would sort it out, all that sort of shite, you know, Robin Hood, whatever. But anyway, off he goes, and off he jogs down the alleyway. So I carry on walking behind him, because that's the natural thing you do. And as luck would have it, he had another car that we didn't know about hidden at the other end of the alleyway. Where am I going? Let's Let's go down here. This is Ashford. That place on the corner, that looks deserted. Nice house that. Anyway, so yeah, off he jogs and gets in the car, and away he goes. So I then get in my car, or the car that I'm with someone else in, so I can dump my kit and obviously catch a breath of air. But yeah, that's one of the stories of things that happen, things that could or couldn't have gone bent. But again, I'm not going to name dates, times, people, places, anything like that. But it is a true story. And again, that's just what all the lads and lasses of the various agencies around the UK do on a daily basis to keep everybody safe, or as safe as they can. So I do get pissed off sometimes when, you know, something sneaks through the net and something happens and everybody says what the fuck were, you know, the government or whatever doing about it. Well, do you know what? I'll tell you what the fuck they're doing. People are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. And the fact is, because it happens in the shadows, you don't know what they're doing, and you don't know of all the things that they've stopped and all the various things that have been intervened away from the eyes of the press and what have you. And I tell you, it's a lot. So next time something happens and you think about bitching on Facebook, just have a think about it, because people do work fucking hard, and it is quite demoralising when you read that sort of stuff, I'll be honest with you, because it's a great job, don't get me wrong, and no one forces you to do it, but it certainly has its risks. I'm trying to work out where I am again. So yeah, another story. I've got obviously some more stories, but I do have to think about them and think about how I'm probably going to word them to make sure that they are a generic tale, with the disclaimer of I could have first made that whole story up. I didn't, but you know, there will be some stories that parts of are redacted, shall we say. But anyway, Canardington, I know the name, I'm trying to think where that is in relation to Ashford, but I'm going to take a slow steady cruise home. I might need to put some fuel in the old trusty rusty RS. It's been a while since I did refill it, but as it does sort of silly miles to the gallon, it's pretty good for that. So let's get around these corners. Alright, this will do. Yeah, have a great 2024, people. I will try and keep the videos coming, and this winter's been quite good so far because the weather has been pretty good. I mean, I know I've got heated kit and all that sort of stuff, but it's actually been really good for riding. I'm looking forward to the summer, don't get me wrong, but at the moment the weather has been good. I hope you've all got out on your bikes and you're enjoying them and all that sort of stuff. If you are riding, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next episode of RSing About with a few more tales and some RS updates. Speak soon, YouTubes. Thanks very much.